Today in the crypto space, we see the market kind of going sideways. Bitcoin still around that $70,000 mark. Ethereum right around $3,700, still looking pretty good despite a small pullback. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are a mix of green and red. We do have Tau, Arweave, Bong, Pepe, Render in the green, and we have few dips like Optimism, Lido, and many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project called Myria. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish. It doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. We see the overall market cap going sideways, planking going sideways, while we see the volume kind of pull back. That's totally fine. In fact, it's all good. We're seeing the market taking a bit of a break while the market cap goes sideways. As soon as we see a bit of volume come right back into the market, it's like we get another higher high and keep on going to the upside. That would be absolutely bullish, of course, to see the market cap, the total market cap, keep on running to the upside. But of course, we got to look at what's happening with the general market. We'll take a look at Bitcoin just as a leading indicator, and then we'll move on and we'll take a look at Myria. I want to take a look at Myria because ultimately, if Bitcoin's showing us a signal that it's ready to continue, or at least give us an opportunity for the altcoins to continue running and showing strength, Myria could be one of those. Of course, it's part of a very bullish narrative, and we got to keep an eye on those bullish narratives. We have Bitcoin kind of going sideways, Ethereum going sideways. So still showing strength. At least it's kind of going sideways, where the volume is kind of hesitating. BNB going sideways. A lot of sideways today, definitely. XRP pulling back, Dogecoin slightly pull back, Cardano slight pullback, and we are getting a lot of good bullish news from the Ethereum ETF. This is the reality. It's become very political, of course. It's become a chip for the political scene, and definitely this could be where the crypto space prospers, right? We can finally get what we need, and it's a bit of clarity in this market. We do have a lot of these altcoins still going sideways. Chainlink planking going sideways. Chainlink knows how to do it. It knows how to go sideways, and then it breaks out and then it runs. So right now we do know that Chainlink has been up approximately 18-19% in the last 7 days, which is pretty good. Are we going to keep on planking like this and then dip down for that Bart Simpson retracement, or are we going to get a leg to the upside? This is where things are with Chainlink. Near Protocol dipping down slightly, but you can see that it's still hesitating, kind of going sideways within that structure. Uniswap still looking good, so is Polygon, still making that higher high and higher low. Not too bad. FET is doing great today, up 9.2%, along with Pepe another 10%. Awesome. Those are probably some of the top gainers. We have Render's doing very well, 8.2% to the upside. Still grinding. I'm still holding my Render bag. I am not taking profits any longer. I took a bit of profit to de-risk early on, but now it's about time that I just hang back and relax and let this thing run. If it's gonna go, it's gonna go, and if it doesn't, so be it. At the end of the day, we take profits all the time in order to prepare. What is this Black Phoenix? PBX is running. What is it? Is this even fake? Is it real? Look at this percentage. I have no idea what this is, guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you know exactly what this project is all about, because I have no idea. This thing is definitely here, and it's making some noise. IMX is doing okay here, kind of going sideways before maybe it gets another leg to the upside. We have Mantle going sideways. A lot of sideways price action in the last little while. Stacks getting a pullback because Bitcoin is showing a bit of weakness at the top of the range. Okay, we know that Stacks is very volatile when it comes to Bitcoin reaction, so that's usually how we can understand the sentiment behind Stacks. Arweave's dipping down a little bit, but still up 6.5% for the day, which is great. BitTensor showing a lot of strength all of a sudden, up 7.5%, and you can see the rest of the market is pretty sideways again. So general consensus for me, there are some good gainers up approximately 5 to 10% here and there, but on average the market is pretty much going sideways, like nothing really major. Singularity net is doing good, 9%, and you can see what I mean. We have some projects doing good with that 9-10%, but some of them still going sideways, not doing much. 5% here, 7% there, safe. So look, the market's still bullish, guys. We can't deny it. Still in a very bullish stance, still doing okay. The bullish bias is still there. Why would you be exiting your entire positions at this current moment? I know profit taking is key, but there's a lot of ways that you can protect your gains and protect your capital. And of course, I always talk about, skimming off the top is always great without exiting your entire position. However, trailing up stop losses well into profit is also a great way to protect those gains, because you still maintain your position while still protecting the possibility that if we do roll over, you can walk away a profitable trader. And of course, separate your long-term spot bags from your short-term spot bags. That way you can trade a short-term spot bag without, touching your bigger positions that are for longer-term holds. That is a great strategy to basically navigate this market. All right, guys, let's begin. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin as a leading indicator, see what's going on with Bitcoin, so we can make better informed decisions on the altcoins. And of course, we're going to be talking about Myria. If we do see Bitcoin continue getting this rejection at this point and rolling to the downside and getting that retracement, we could expect the altcoin market, including Ethereum, including Myria, including all these altcoins, take a bit of a dip in the short term. But the question is, upon a bounce, how much harder, how much stronger will the altcoins react? How much stronger will the altcoins basically recuperate from any of that dip? Okay, guys, let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Essentially, what we're seeing here is that Bitcoin is showing a bit of profit taking, maybe a bit of resistance, maybe a bit of, the market trying to protect their gains again by taking some profit off the top. Now, I'm still interested in seeing Bitcoin stay above, obviously, the $60,500 mark. Obviously, we got to stay within the structure at best. But, in the short term, staying above about 67,000 would be absolutely great. We do come down, back test the previous high, consolidate right here for this nice bull flag, nice cup and handle formation, and then a fat breakout to the upside. Guys, measured move takes us all the way up to about 65, maybe slightly lower. We'll take it day by day to see where those extension levels hit, but really the extension 1.618 I think is at about 6,500, 1.27 about 79, and then of course the previous highs could be a level of which we do get a bit of another reaction or a bit of a rejection. But if we consolidate right into here, we offload the short-term sellers, onload some long-term and some bullish bids, eventually we'll pick up enough strength into this level that when we reach those previous highs, we can break out with some good volume. Okay, so we keep in mind that the momentum is also looking really good, and so is the trend. Look at the trend right now. EMA is facing up, green histogram bars to the upside, and their purple expansion at this current moment is definitely getting its follow through out of this class A bullish divergence in the trend. So we're looking really, really good, and we see momentum right now is picking up. That green expansion, similar to what we had here in the past, a nice green expansion to the upside suggests that the bulls are in the control and the momentum is to the upside, as we see the purple line definitely grinding to the upside. Now, what about if we get the orange line all the way back down to oversold conditions? The volatility line basically coming down to oversold means that we can start preparing for another long positions with a bit of confidence that when we trade the volatility in the same direction of the momentum, we have a higher chance of, sniping some great entries or getting into some really good profitable trades. So in the meantime, I still am bullish on the daily. The 4-hour could give us a bit of a pullback, given the fact that we see a lot of these oscillators are coming from overbought conditions and a bit of a rejection and expansions kind of tapering in, particularly with the trend. But it doesn't mean that it has to be a long-term thing. It could be a short-term pullback for a continuation to the upside. And as I mentioned before, I'm hoping that we get some a few touches on these tops right here at about 67,200 to about 67,000 more or less. That would be absolutely epic. All right, guys, so now that we know that Bitcoin at the end of the day could be rolling over here in the short term, looking for a bit of a pullback, we have to anticipate that altcoins could come down for a retracement as well. Despite we seen Ethereum look so strong in the last little while, that's great, but it won't withstand Bitcoin's bearishness. If Bitcoin dumps, the market will dump. but we want to see the altcoins recuperate stronger than Bitcoin and give us that higher high on the altcoin market. That's giving us a sense of an altcoin season where altcoins are showing strength against Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Myria. Myria at the end of the day is looking great. Let's zoom in here. Let's make this big picture so we can focus on the price action. You can see the retracement is epic. Now, you know, the reality is we are in a bit of a sell-off. We came down and made that lower low very clearly. A lot of people down here, including myself and individuals here on the channel that have been following me along, know that this was the time where I got in, and this is where the time where the best options, the best risk to reward opportunities were. Let's zoom in so you can see exactly what happened at this level. We identified a great pivot point, you know, lower lows on the price action, bullish divergence, started getting follow through, accumulation, as can be seen based on the market, and then all of a sudden, boom, we start moving. And this was a great move to the upside, and all of a sudden you anticipate that a lot of these individuals have been taking profit, and this is why we're coming down with that lower low, unfortunately. Now, where we are at the current moment is critical. Why? Because we are touching this previous high. Fine. We are also touching these previous highs, which are also important. And more importantly, we are right now going to hit this volume that is obviously stated by all this market participation. I kind of like this. The bottom of the volume gap usually gets reactions. Now, if we look at this in a bit more detail with regards to momentum and trend, we could potentially spot a bullish divergence. It's very clear that this trend, the price action currently is trending to the downside with lower lows and lower highs. It is below the 200 daily. That is a very bearish scenario, but it could be a short-term scenario where we see the price below the 200 daily. Let's begin by looking at the momentum. Let's make this smaller. Momentum at the current moment, we see that both expansions to the downside were quite strong. However, they both bottomed out pretty much at the same level. This one is slightly higher. No big deal, because at the end of the day, it is divergence, right? If it's class A, fine. It's because this one's, you know, it's class B because it's double bottom. And if it's class A, it's because it basically made a lower low on the price action and a higher low on the momentum. So that's the waves are showing us that this wave is a little weaker than that one, even though the price came down. That's divergence. Now, we also see a bit of divergence, not the strongest, not really divergent, because this is still a lower low, but you can see that even though it is a slightly lower low, the price action came down for a much bigger lower low. So a sign of divergence nonetheless, but a little bit of a sign. It's not even a class C in this case. I would say, look, just keep in mind that the bears, although they're pushing hard, almost equally as hard to this impulse, if you look at the momentum, it barely even came down to extreme oversold, even though the price came down much harder. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It does show a little bit of that weakness. Now, the volatility came from oversold, and now it's overbought. Now, do we come back down to potentially break lower levels, or do we come back down and make a higher low within this level? What I like of what's happening right now with the price action is that Myria currently is trying to break out of a wedge. After we look at the momentum, after we look at the trend oscillator, we'll go back to the price action and see if we can find some confluence. Right now, we do see two drives of bullish divergence, one here, one here. This one, you know, as we build this divergence and we see the EMAs slowly getting their crosses and moving to the upside in the bullish control zone, bit by bit, we should see a bit of confidence with this confluence. At the end of the day, we're making lower lows on the price action again, and we're making higher lows on the trend oscillator. Basically, the expansions to the downside are getting weaker with regards to trend, and the bears are losing their strength as we hit these horizontal levels of support. I like the fact that we are getting a green dot, giving me some confluence and a potential move. I like these, you know, EMAs with all these histogram bars. They're looking really good for a potential reversal, but it might take its time as we form some price action, as we go sideways here on the Myria price. So really what we want here is to get a bit more confirmation. We did not make a higher low. Sorry, we did not make a higher low just yet. We can classify maybe this as a higher low. Okay, fine. We do not make a higher high. So some things that we need to pay attention to. Number one, we need to break above the 200 daily, which is quite confluent with the previous high. So that's very important. We need to get above this line right here. We need to get above the previous high, which is at about 0.00777. Right around here, we need to get above. That would give us a confirmation that we have made a higher high. The higher high would be good, because then we start looking at a change of character into this price action right here. higher highs, higher lows. So we also need a higher low. Now, do we make a little bit of a higher low right now, or do we break above, make that higher low, and then move to the upside? Regardless, this could end up being a pivot point. This could be end up being an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then all of a sudden we start looking for major breakouts. Until we do, if we do break a lower low, guys, if we break below this previous low, it's not looking good for Myria. We do have a lot of weakness into the lower levels. As you can see, we're just trying to hinge upon this price action. If we start breaking below, even below 0.0042, guys, cut your losses. Who knows how low we're going to go? It's likely that we come back to a bear market lows again, maybe at about 0.002, something like that. But in the meantime, this level should be defended. Statistically speaking, there's a lot of confluence here to expect the bulls to come in and defend the zone. So let's see what we can expect here. Let's paint the picture. Either we come down, make a higher low, move to the upside, start coming to this level. Even if we move up and make a higher high, great. We come back down, make a higher low, and then start moving. Okay, this could all happen. What we want to do is change the character of the trend, where we see the price action make higher highs in comparison to this one and higher lows in comparison to this one down here. And in the meantime, we're building that pivot point. We're building that confluence in the confidence in this at this lower level. And this is why I am deciding to start DCAing bit by bit here on Myria as the price action unfolds. Now, if we do break below, I understand there's risk, and so should you, but as soon as we start moving to the upside, you should also consider de-risking, right? Taking a bit of profit so you de-risk your position. Now, we know that Myria is part of very bullish narrative. It's a gaming project, guys, and it ran up pretty hard, and there's a lot of people that are going to look at this as an opportunity to buy into a very bullish project really, really early on, before it becomes a huge market cap. So at this current moment, you're in a decent retracement. It looks like a golden pocket. Let's use Fibonacci. More or less, swing low to swing high. Okay, we can do something like that. It's a 786 if you're going to use that wick all the way down here. It got a bounce off of this golden pocket, went straight up, made a lower high, and then came back down, hit the 786. It is a great 786 retracement. Could we come down to the 886? And that's the actual real bear market low type of scenario. It's really, really low down there. It's about, 0.003. We could even, if at that point, we can even come down to about 0.002. Okay, so that is definitely possible. But in this range, guys, I am hoping that we eventually get this thing going and getting that bounce. Now, I'm wondering about what kind of extension levels we hit from this level, swing low to swing high, to see where we're at. And we didn't even hit the 1.27, 1.618 is all the way down here. So you can see that this level also has a lot of confluence, which is all the way down again, 0.0025, 0.002. So what we really have to do is anticipate that if we buy into here, always reserve the possibility that the price action could come down to this zone. And then the question is, what are you going to do about it? Do you put a stop loss right underneath this previous low right here where we are at the current moment and then reaccumulate down here? Or do you just get into a small bag and take it on the chin and just accumulate? To be honest, lately I am in the mood to just accumulate. Why? Because the bullish thesis needs to be here. Are we in a bull run or not? We're getting the biggest catalysts of this potential bull run, right? Ethereum ETF, we got the Bitcoin ETF already. We're getting a lot of institutional buyers. We're getting a lot of countries getting on board. We're getting political here. So a lot of good things here. So I'm not really interested in, number one, taking tons of profit, right? I would like to de-risk, especially on risky projects. And number two, I'm not waiting for the absolute bottoms. I am DCAing at all opportunities. And you can see Myria at the current moment is not at the top. You are not buying tops. You're buying a fat retracement. And at the end of the day, these retracements are meant to be bought if you have that bullish thesis for the bull run. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. See you tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.